Welcome to week 2 of a beginner's yoga series. So we're going to start down on the mat and stay down on the mat. So last week we did some standing poses, so you could actually put the two videos together if you wanted a longer practice. All right, let's get started. So we're going to begin by grabbing a blanket, folding it into a rectangle shape like this. If you don't have a blanket, we just want something for underneath the knees. So if you have a thin cushion or something like that, or even an extra yoga mat folded, just something to protect the joints is what we're looking for here. So we'll take the folded blanket, place it in the middle of the mat, bring the knees onto the blanket, and in our tabletop position here, we want the wrists under the shoulders and the knee under the hips. Hands nice and wide, fingers spreading. Spine is neutral to start. Inhale and exhale here. From here, we're going to come into cow pose really slowly. So what that means is you'll begin by starting to draw the face and the neck up so the gaze lifts, the chin starts to lift. Bend the elbows to bring the shoulder blades together on the back. Let the belly drop low and lift the hips. Exhale, slowly undo all of that and come back to the neutral tabletop position. Take a breath here. We're moving into this position really slowly because we want to try to articulate each vertebrae and notice where we have mobility and where we maybe have less. Next breath. Exhale, begin to look up. Bend the elbows, shoulder blades come towards one another, belly drops, sacrum lifts. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose, slowly come back to the tabletop position. Inhale and exhale here. We're going to come into the opposite movement now for the cat pose, moving again nice and slow. Inhale here in tabletop. Exhale, begin to drop the head so that the gaze comes more towards the knees. The chin is coming towards the chest. Let the shoulders blades lift by pressing into the mat. The spine rounds. The hips might come a little bit back in space. Navel towards the spine. Next, exhale through the nose, come back to our tabletop position. Inhale and exhale here. And we'll repeat that movement one more time. Exhale, bring the chin towards the chest, lift the shoulders, spine rounds, navel in. Like an angry cat back. Exhale, come back to tabletop position. Inhale and exhale here. Now we're going to take a few breaths to just find some movement in the hips that might feel good. So you can just swish the hips back and forth. You can repeat the cow and cat motions if that feels like it's calling to you. You could make hip circles in one direction and then the other. Just take about 5 breaths to find any movement with the hips that feels good to you today. Starting to really try to tune in to your body and practice that listening to yourself that we're trying to cultivate with our yoga practice. As you're ready, finish up your movement, take one more breath in the neutral tabletop. Inhale and exhale. Start to walk yourself back a little bit, and we're going to need our blocks for the next pose. So if you have blocks, grab them, two if you have them. If you don't have any blocks, you could use a thick book or two stacked together, or anything else that you can press your hand down on. If you don't have something this high, you could something this high. So just grab whatever you have around the house that you can press into. We're going to begin with both knees on the blanket. Plant the hands on the blocks or whatever else you have to bring some height here. Lean a little forward. Leave the left knee where it is. Lift the right knee and start to walk it towards the front of the mat. You can come out wide if that's easier, and then come in. Just making your way to this lunge position, however is comfortable for you. So the extra height allows us to press into the blocks and get a little more lift in the chest. We want to have the knee over the ankle generally in this pose, but with the back knee down, it is okay to lean a little bit forward if we want to feel more of a stretch in the left quadricep. But maybe that's too much for you, so you can stay back and just get the back leg back enough to feel some stretching in the left thigh muscles. The left foot is down, toenail side down. Inhale and exhale here. You can try bringing the blocks even wider to make more room for that lift in the chest. Continue to breathe, feeling that stretch. If it becomes too intense, just back off a little bit by bringing the hips back in space. Take a breath here, or just stay here. Maybe you're just taking a breath and then coming back forward for one breath. Listen to yourself first. So this does definitely have sensation, but we don't want it to go from a sensation of stretching or maybe mild discomfort. We don't want to go into pain. So if we feel any pain, come right out of that. Exhale, start to bring it back with this foot. Plant the hands, and maybe to get this knee back in, you want to really kind of lift up, bring it in, however that works for your body today. Come into the tabletop position and take a breath or two here. Nice work. We'll take it to the other side. Grab your blocks. Press into the blocks, make some room. Lift that left foot. Start to walk it forward. Again, you can come around wide if that's easier. As we become situated, we can maybe scoot the foot up a few inches more. Once you start to feel the stretch, the setup, you might want to adjust the feet a little bit. As you're ready, press into the blocks, feel a lift in the chest. Inhale and exhale. You can always take a look behind you, make sure the back leg is coming straight back out of the hip, not going in one direction or the other, to the side. Press into the front foot, inhale and exhale. If it becomes too much, curl the back toes under, lean back a little bit, take a breath, take a rest. Stay here, or maybe come back forward into the lunge for another breath or two. Your practice, you decide. Inhale and exhale. Wherever you are, begin to come back. Let that go. Remove the blocks. Walk that foot back in line. We'll take our tabletop position once again. Fingers nice and wide. Inhale and exhale. Remove the blanket and come all the way down to the belly in whatever way is comfortable for you. Plant one hand and then the other right in front of you. So I'm stacking the hands like this. And then place the forehead on top of the stacked hands. Inhale and exhale. From here, bring the hands out. Plant both hands at about the chest line. Think about tucking the elbows in nice and tight and letting the shoulder blades come towards one another on the back. Now, keep the head and neck neutral, gaze down for now, and press strongly into the tops of the feet. The feet don't need to be too close together. They can be a little bit wider. And press so firmly into the tops of the feet that the kneecaps lift. Now for some people, this here might be enough of sensation in the spine. And so you're just gonna practice right here, pressing into the hands and the feet and not coming up any further. Breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Let go of pressing the feet. Stack the hands once again. Come down, take a few breaths. Come back with the hands pressing to the sides, elbows tucked in tight. Now once again, some people could be resting the forehead down on the mat and pressing into the feet, and this might be right where you need to be. If you'd like to try another option, then what you'll do is keep all of that work, elbows in tight, shoulder blades coming towards one another, feet pressing. Inhale, exhale, and use the muscles of the back to lift any amount. The head and the chest. Now the head and neck, we don't need to throw the head back. We can just have the gaze looking forward of the mat. Inhale, exhale, come on down. Take a few deep breaths, resting the head on the hands, and then prepare for the third round. Press into the feet, so much so that the kneecaps begin to lift off the mat. Feet are still pressing tightly. Elbows in tight. Inhale and exhale. Stay right here. Or with your next exhale, let the muscles of the back lift you any amount. Maybe you come a little bit higher this time, maybe not. Inhale and exhale. Pubic bone stays down wherever you are. Inhale and exhale. Come on down. Claw the mat, elbows in tight to come down. Take your few breaths of rest. Plant the hands. You can curl the toes under to push up a little bit, and we're gonna start to flip over towards the back. So you can follow me or come any way that is comfortable for you to get onto the back. And then walk the feet a little bit closer to the buttocks. The hands can press down, or you can even grab the edge of the mat for this pose. Before we come up, we have our feet situated. Think now about lifting a little bit, one shoulder and then the other, to try to walk the shoulder blades a little bit closer together. And let the chin be closer to the chest so we're not throwing the head back here. Once that's all situated, take an inhale, exhale, press into the feet to lift the hips into the air, any amount. Once you're up, you can walk the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, keep pressing strongly into the feet, and here you can even pull with the hands as if you're trying to rip the mat in half to bring a little more weight onto the shoulders. Keep pressing into the feet. The legs are working, even the inner thighs firing, and the glutes firing. So the spine is receiving the pose here from all this work in the legs and the arms. Inhale, exhale, begin to slowly drop the hips all the way down. You can let the shoulders come out. Plant the hands on the belly or out to the side. Walk the feet to the edge of the mat and bring the knees together. You can close the eyes here. Take a few deep breaths. Nice. We're going to separate the knees. Walk the feet back in a little bit. Walk the heels towards the buttocks once again. Begin to set up for our second round. So from here, walk the shoulder blades towards one another. Get yourself nice and situated. Inhale here. Exhale, press into the feet. Use the glutes to lift any amount. Walk the shoulder blades a little bit more in together and really feel the weight on the shoulders here, not on the neck. Inhale and exhale. Press into the feet, so much so, especially on the outside edge of the feet, that the inner thighs fire up. Inhale and exhale. Next exhalation, come all the way down slowly. Place the hips back on the mat, shoulder blades come out. Walk the feet out to the edge of the mat, knees come together. You can close the eyes. Take a few breaths here. You can stay in this position with the knees together, or separate the legs, keep the feet wide, and just gently bring the hips from side to side in a windshield wiper movement. Back through stillness. Roll to one side, press up. For our next pose, we're going to use a strap. So this is a yoga strap or belt. If you don't have one of these, you can use any kind of belt, any kind of length of fabric, honestly. You could also use a towel or even a t-shirt to wrap. We're wrapping it around the foot. So anything that's going to help make your arms longer. So find what you're going to use. Come back down to the mat. Just have your strap handy. Compress into the hands, and then down to the forearms to come to lying down. Let the shoulder blades be not together how they were in bridge, but broad, pressing down onto the mat. so really supported. Have your strap or whatever you're going to use within hand's reach. We'll begin with keeping the left foot planted on the mat, bend the right knee, plant the hands on top of the right knee, and take some breaths here with the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, exhale. Now let's take some very gentle circles here into the hip. Other direction with your circle. Back through center and grab the strap. Take the strap and we'll place it around the ball of the foot, and then we're going to come to straight with this leg. So we want this leg to be straight. How do we straighten the leg? We engage the quadricep. So engage the thigh muscles to make your leg a nice, strong, straight leg. Shoulder blades remain on the mat. Breathing here. Now, if having this leg perpendicular to the floor means that you really have to keep the knee bent, if this is where you're at, try not keeping the leg perpendicular. You could go closer towards the wall in front of you, away from your face. If that is the place where you can comfortably engage the quadricep to straighten the leg, then you could come here. And you can have your strap go as long as you need. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to show it back here. Wherever you are, think about flexing the toes towards the face. Inhale and exhale. As you're ready, loosen your grip on the strap, bend that knee, remove the strap, bring the hands back to the knee, and this time try to bring the knee closer to the armpit on this side. So opening the hip a little bit differently. Inhale and exhale here. Very good. You can plant that leg back down, stay with both knees bent for a few breaths, or you can stretch both legs out and see how that feels for a few breaths. As you're ready, bend both legs if they're not already. Plant the feet, and we'll bring it to the other side. Have the strap handy, left knee bends, hands plant on the knee. Inhale and exhale here with the knee towards the chest. Take it into some circles. They can be nice and easy and slow. Take your circle the other direction. Come back through center. Grab your strap. You're at the top. Wrap it. Place it around the ball of the foot. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to extend the left leg towards the ceiling. Once again, if coming out of the hip with the leg into this position that's perpendicular to the floor, if that does not work for you because of tight hamstrings or any other reason, you can lower the foot a little bit, make your strap longer, and find a place where it's more comfortable for you to have a straighter leg. Wherever you are, flex the foot towards the face and breathe. Try to maintain that evenness between the inhale and exhale through the nose. Relax the jaw and the face. And then as you're ready, loosen your grip on the strap, gently bend the left knee, remove the strap, place it aside. Bring the hands to clasp on the knee. Take a few breaths here. And imagining you're trying to bring that knee a little bit closer to the left armpit for a breath or two. Inhale and exhale. Next exhale, begin to plant the left foot. Take a breath here. We're heading next to our final resting pose. So we have a few options for our Shavasana. If you have blankets around, you can definitely grab one for under the head, use a blanket or cushion for under the legs, and you can come to the more traditional Shavasana shape that I showed in the last video. Another option is to come to legs of the wall for your final rest, and after doing back bends, that can be really nice. So I'm going to show that right now. So we also did this in the last video, week 1, but I showed the option with support under the sacrum. But if you're going to do it as your Shavasana, we can do without that. So the only reason we might have a blanket is for a head support blanket. So I'll place that there. So I'm going to come to my seat alongside the wall, plant the hands behind, start to lower towards the elbows, and as I lower, I'm lifting the legs up. Grab my neck support to make a little pillow. Place the hands out to the side. You can have palms up or palms kind of to the side. And resting here, letting the whole spine feel connected to the mat underneath you. Taking some deep, even breaths. Begin to deepen your breath. If you're happy here and you'd like to stay longer, feel free to ignore my next cues and just rest. If you're ready to exit, begin to plant one foot on the wall, bend the knee, and then the other. Walk the feet down the wall gently. And then from here, with your knees bent, just begin to roll to one side or the other. Use your bottom hand, arm as a rest. Take some deep breaths lying on the side. Press into the top hand. You can keep the eyes closed. Use both hands to gently walk yourself up to a seat. You can cross the legs. If crossed legs isn't working for you today, feel free to extend the legs out wide in front of you, or any other position that feels comfortable. Wherever you are, feel rooted through the sit bones and feel some length in the spine. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. The light within me bows to the light